possible. Are they going to let them go? Are they going to let them get away with this?
Storm, they have to go. They have to go because there's another team on their back who's engaging on them right now. Reno Santos, Only Nuts, and Lucina are popping in of them. Lux goes down right away. NYU uses his chug splashes to try and get himself up a little effective. Drops down, gets a 91 tick, tries to 180. Only Nuts does get picked up there. Sending back to the lobby. And Zin is able to get a knock on the Reno Santos and get the conversion. Still one left there. He wants to try and get the card, but they will be able to pick that up. So a 3 for 2. The other player is able to get out, but unfortunately it costs them one of the teammates. You can see Twaco, Nothing No Name, and Clipnote still rotating through. Bubble Shield being used by Matuski and his teammate there, but NYU did get picked up. So now it is PH Zin against the world. You can see him down there over in the Storm, not going to be able to convert on that revive. Unfortunately, he's trying his best. So I can get there. But if you see in the bottom left-hand corner, Storm will take him over. Plus, that bleed out time means he gets to watch as the Argentinians now go for the rotation. Clipnote in the bush, walking out through the open. Lucina is that other player who was the solo. So 2 solos on either side of him, and they're actually pinching themselves between them. So it'll be interesting to see if they separate and go for a pick or they just chill.
Man, this is tough. All right, great launch pad here. Going to make sure that PH Zin can get himself out and try to get the rotation. So right now, he's going to be playing defensive mode, right? He's trying to look and get top 12 if possible. They already have the 4 points. They want more for placement.
I am curious if PH Zin and PF Zin, if there's any relation there towards it. Honestly, I don't know because I've never seen PH Zin before, but PF Zin was Nyx's partner originally. Haven't seen him playing a ton, so not sure. Potentially something to investigate. More of a mental note for myself. As you can see, the circle is closing in, and a number of people are making the rotation right away, and pretty much everyone is packed into that eastern side. My lord, there's barely even a trio on the western side, but as you can see there, some of it is over the water, so we could have some interesting zone pulls this game.
And there's even a brute sitting on the Spam, Pew, Pewum, Toxic, and X-Zone.
Able to get into that first match, but more than capable of making up those points. They will be able to do it, particularly as you can see, man, everyone is stacked on the edge. It's like there's a contagion in the middle of the map. You can see nobody wants to be near it, but that Storm Surge will pick up here. 4 players left who need to go down. Once it's below 50, it will kick in. 9 trios have been eliminated. 10 more need to go down before we reach placement points. So we're really just getting in to the meat and potatoes of it, as Shio Wager would say. We're going to make a meal of this late game, and we're pulling more south, so less in play. A lot of snow to go, and honestly, look at all those teams who have to rotate across each other to get into the next zone, and they're rotating directly into King, Tox, and X zone.
And that's probably pretty much why they haven't started, like, moving, right? Because everyone was aware they were all flying in and using the resources to get to safety. They're all stacked on top of each other. No one wants to be the first person to edit out the wall and say, like, all right, we're coming out, because that is going to be the trio that the entire lobby turns on. That's why, even look, no one has moved yet. Everyone's afraid to move. But don't forget, there's also the brute on the left mountain. The moment that brute designates that area to be blanketed, there will be people that are going to fall. So they have to be very careful on how they're opting to rotate. The question is, are people going to present themselves and give King and his trio the opportunity to pick up eliminations? Because I'm telling you right now, you give King an inch, he's going to take him out, and he's going to make sure he's fighting eliminations.
So they were actually, I misspoke, they weren't right on the edge of the zone. They were towards the end, but the way they just launch padded was brilliant. They went straight out and then back towards the zone to then make sure when they were coming across, they had the extra horizontal momentum. And now they're able to kind of set up shop really centrally here, which for the next moving zone is a neutral position. It's not awful, but it gives them opportunity. And King taking that opportunity. That's a down right there. That was incredible. Able to convert onto an X-Zone, also able to find it. And it was PH Zin who was able to just laser out of the sky. That's the current leader. So he says, hey, I'm in the match now. I am the leader. I am the king of South America. Everyone has to answer to me. And you look at the amount of rifle ammunition on him as well. They're going to have opportunities to take shots, and they're looking for it with these edits.
The way they're just controlling the lobby right now, kind of how they are navigating, they're like, they're on another level right now.
But King only has 24 builds. I'd be really interested to see the build count because it seems like they've had to rely very heavily on their tunneling to get in the positions. And now that they're out of the launch pad and with only one shockwave, it is very dangerous on this rotation. However, a lot of the lobby is again going to have to rotate past them, particularly those players to the east who they're looking at right now. All of them have to rotate into them. They also were able to pick up an RPG, so starting to fire those explodes away. You can see them donating those over right away, and now an early rotation coming out as they look for shots, and they're going to launch pad up and then move towards far side of the zone.
Question is, where do we land? They're starting to mark a few things. They see a launch pad drop there, but I like
gotta move. They have to move to the launch pad. You have to move over towards that as everyone is going to go up because there is going to be another high ground rotation, and you don't have the maps to really go. King has 11 maps. He's going to start looking for aggro positions, and here it is. They take the wall, and Exxon is on the other side. But he's gone. He's gone. Shockwave out, so they burn that rotation from him, and they still have prio on being able to low tunnel. However, they don't have the maps to make it, which means they have to find a pick, and there it is with Pete going down, and they're able to convert that into at least 15 more maps. They're going to split those out. Somebody needs to give King something here. Otherwise, he's going to have to go aggro. But we're nearing our first round of placement points as another Elim comes through. That is 4 points going in as Lux and Trambala gets picked up by Zone. 10 mats. Here comes the Shockwave and a good Shockwave to pull King up, but he doesn't have enough anymore. Going to Shockwave himself back up. Does have edge of Zone into the shield bubble, but now out 0 maps. This is what we talked about. Has to rely on his teammate and the edits. He's in a follow position now, and if King isn't first, he's not necessarily the most effective, but instead he says, you do all the building, I'll just run forward with my gun. Spray going through. Can he find it? No. Phases up through. Needs to find the hit, and he does. Gubu goes down. 50 HP. That was the Siphon. And he finds flashes, gets the splash. Can he get back into the zone? The splash was everything he needed. Top 12 as well, so he gets the first round of placement points. Zone is also in front of him. 5 going through. King gets spammed. Pum goes down, misses the round of placement, but does get that. Mongrel, Benji, and Mitro up top, but no, that is not them. That is Mystic. Filaz right up there trying to do everything they can. They were the other ones in the top 3 trio saying, hey, we're in this lobby now. 13 points coming out from him, 10 from Elam's, 3 from the placement as Clipnote finally also gets taken down. Everyone trying to channel their inner MMBB as they're in here, but right now the positioning is great, and honestly, you could have told me this is MMBB. I'd probably believe you. Covering the sides, looking down, finding the angles, a great job right now, pushing into top 7 and still finding more picks as Tommy 204 goes down. A great shot off of that jump, and I mean, they are making this look easy.
They're just finding these incredible angles on players, and the way they're, like, just walking through, it is just... they're just destroying every single person. I don't know how they're racking this up. Take a look. 15 eliminations already. They're now, keep in mind, they're only top 6. They're trying to get as high as possible. If they get the 15 points from the Victory Royale, they're going to jump up massive numbers. But take a look. They're trying to go for high ground. They see one player catch him. Few shots go out. Jotsman. That is fall damage, my friend. Goodbye.
Top 4. They got that next round of placement, but they want the W. They want everything here. Top 3 now, but they're in a full 2. And we've talked about how when it kind of devolves down here, this is a 3v1. Pin him on the edge of the zone. Don't let him go anywhere. Get your full 4 points. Get your 34. 19 eliminations. 15 for the Victory Royale. They said, that first game doesn't even matter. We'll run it out. The top down could have had me convinced they were MMBB, but Mystic & Co. take home match number 2.
Absolutely insane play coming out from the trio. But now I want to hear from another insane person. Let's send it into the studio with Shiowager.
Yes, indeed, Zeke, Mystic, Nogs, Fevas, I see you. I see who you look like. I can see the relation. Very, very nice game for you. Let's check out this. I'll put you all the way up. First, Vic Royale as well. 19 Elims, 34 points to catch up. But you can see the breakdown at the moment. 20 points ahead of the top 10. Just in second, 2 points ahead as well. So who's in second at the moment? The Only Boys as well. Also with a Vic Roy. So for tiebreakers, it will come down to Elims, I believe, and then some more after that. So a very close race at the top. Looking down all the way through, maybe even at the second page. For now, we'll see what's up. So we have Mystic, Feebas, and Nogs at the top. Looking at the second page, a notable trio as well. Clipnode, Twaco, and Nogs. They're sitting up at 13. They can still catch up if they have another time. vertically, horizontally, and from the bottom to the top, making sure you can always pick up things around you and stay aware. That's what a support player has to do when he's not in the fight. Going back towards Suarez, though, getting those vertical angles we just talked about. Big surprise elims, we talked about it before as well, in terms of crosshair positioning. If you have that vertical angle, you get pop-off shots, you get big 100 damage pumps, tax even, that gets you lined up and in there for sure. Now we're seeing a little bit of dual play, swapping over back and forth. Someone's always there to pick up the slack in case you go down. This is the top trio in action right now. The DC boys going over multiple angles over and over again. If one person slacks off, the other person on the other angle will be there to pick it up. Once again, vertical angles. You will only be able to see the head no matter where your beam goes. So playing height, if you don't have to worry about putting cones above you or putting any builds above you, looking down below, you can get any type of beam possible. You have so much room, as you can see here. The big note also being taken in. Just because you have height, just because you feel like you're getting the win, doesn't mean you have all the points. These guys are at the top with 34 for a reason. Yes, they got the Vicroy, that's 15 placement points, but searching for these elims all the way at the very end on Sashi, that's how you get kind of away from the rest of your competition. For now, all we're going to be doing is, once again, kind of recapping what we saw. The big lesson kind of to learn from this trio is space out where you are, pick up slack from each other. The big other thing being Brazil, very aggressive region. You see a lot of people dropping down, waterfalling at all times. You want to make sure you have contingencies set into place. So if you're on height, be all the way up. It's a very easy place to kind of see exactly where people are moving and dropping down. We do have some predictions also coming in from the NA East region. We'll see those in just a second. Right here, we see kind of a pattern pulling through. Stretch, Booga, and Clarity. We've seen these guys have constant placements and elims week to week to week, always being in that top 8. Sandan and Zeke, I see you guys, very, very smart. Me, myself, I think Clicks, Crimson, Spades will pop up on that competition. I think these guys have a dope way to play from the 9th zone on low ground. And then Monster D-Face, Sav, Zay, and Zypha, it's a very safe pick to have, very smart pick as well, because these guys are very experienced and have new blood that can actually take them to the top as well with a dope clutch factor. And then Lupo, the Aspect, Animal, Bucky, consistent trio. Smart pick there as well, but once again, if these guys all have that quality of sharing height, who can be at the top in-game and then be on the top of the leaderboards post-game as well. So it's going to be a cool thing to see. NA East will be coming up. Brazil for now, once again, to wrap it up and put the perspective on the horizon, it's all about controlling the aggressiveness. It's all about knowing exactly when to drop down and when to pick.
Deixa-me ver as finais, caralho. Deixa-me ver as finais do torneio.
And how things are played out. We saw this at the World Cup with King, right? And once again, Sandan mentioned this before. You can go in and watch these other regions and actually pick up on all of this stuff before it actually happens in-game. So doing this, learning these lessons are dope. Right now, though, next game coming up, Zeke and Sundown. Take it away, cast us all up.
Man, I just love Shy so much. Just the way he breaks down things is, like, incredible.
I mean, it's incredible. I've been a big fan of him for a very long time. As I said, both him and Baller are two people in particular who like breaking the game down at an analytical level. But also Zeke, I don't know if you see kind of in that top right-hand corner there, NA East Heat 1, Game 1, dropping on in here. These are some of the best trios in the region that you guys all want to see. There's so many popular names and faces on here, and I mean, they are ready to go. And right off of the bat, you can see in the back, we're at retail, and there's nothing free here. Colorful has a bunch of zombies after him, but it's not zombies, it's the pickaxes coming through, able to pick it up there. Fernando is going to grab a revolver and try and do everything he can with 3 builds. There you go, pickaxes coming out, trying to get the defense. Sicko goes down with a tap, able to find that one there. Colorful does get picked up on, but Davon is able to get another one, so Colorful still down over there. They want to be able to get it and get that revive back up. Zombies are there. Davon is going to be able to cover him, but Cube Fiends won't be able to take that one away. A quick 2 points going over, and Fernando, great work with that revolver there on those 2 shots. However, I mean, player also didn't really have a weapon.
Yeah, I mean, they were trying to, but it was still a great shot, right, to be able to dome him and drop him. Tendons is here by himself. They've got eyes on him. They're going to try and pick him up. He's going to run back inside one of the buildings here. Now, he did not stop to get the ammo there, so we know he is just running for his life. This is information Fernando has. Oh, come on! 6-3! There it is. All right. There you go. That is going to drop Tendons. That is a full clear on another trio. 2 over on Fernando, 1
But
on
there's another
David.
trio right over on the other side, and they haven't had to deal with the fight. So while they do have the 3 points, that other trio was able to actually mat up, and you can't just cone yourself somewhere because there's Q-Fiends everywhere. The Q-Fiends will look to track towards you, but right now, trying to find a little space, standing... Oh, hello?
Oh, no?
Hello?
Please don't do this.
Okay, no, he's just going to disengage and try and get out of dodge, take what he can, recognizing the fact that his teammate was able to do the same, so they'll lose the one there. But Uzi, Aguilar, and Thresh on the other side, and Fernando is getting out because he doesn't want the Q-Fiends to give away his location, going to drag them over towards the side where they will be dropped by that Rift Zone bubble. And honestly, if I'm them right now, disengage. Get away from all this. You got 3 points. That's really good already for the game. Get out of dodge. Go anywhere else, find some form of utility, some form of shields. You can see Colorful opted to do that. He's nowhere even on screen. You can't see a partner. They were both just like, nope, we're gone. Peace. We'll meet back up somewhere else. But right now, get out of retail.
Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of loot on his way trying to reconnect, but yeah, man, just knowing when to disengage. I hope they got Davin's card because they can go up to the reboot, not that far, just northeast. But it looks...
they dipped. No,
you think they just left the card?
Yeah,
okay.
the card. There's no way. Because if they had gone back for the card, it would have been good. Now, hopping on point in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see both of our picks for the Stretch and Clarity. The number 1 seed coming out. And also, I'm going to throw this out there. A lot of people in the predictions were like, oh, you guys just picked the number 1 seeds. It's like, yeah, when somebody's dominating a region relatively hard, if you don't pick Micho, Manga, Benji, you get memed on, shall wager. When you notice, right? Like, it's not necessarily...
Hey, man, at the end of the day, I'm not eating a cup of mayonnaise, okay?
Right, that's what I'm saying, right? I'm not putting myself out there, but, like, to be that bold and do it. However, I do want to give a shout-out. There was a esports statistician who ran simulations for each one of the heats going through, and there were a couple that were very definitive going through. NA East had the lowest certainty out of any, and the winner who got predicted by that stats in the most circumstances was actually Drew Clank and his trio, and they've been absurdly consistent, but you looked at the other regions, and the average odds were like 30% or higher for the favorites, which makes sense when the trio is that dominant. But for NA East, not only have we not seen a singular dominant trio, even this Booga, Clarity, and Stretch trio have drop games. There's not a singular team who haven't had a bad week, who haven't had some form of adversity going through. And what that means to me is there's a lot of room for people to be able to step up and make a name for themselves right here. Whoever is the first season champion out of NA East, that's huge because as far as I know, it's all on the table. Any single person can take that, and that is massive bragging rights. And what is like, I think it's the second biggest region or somewhere near that, like right behind Europe. Like it's huge.
Absolutely. And right now we're hopping over to Sunny Steps. Looks like Diddy, Dankline, and Code Ape are trying to find this team and isolate them as quickly as possible. And they are going to be inside this little Aztec temple, trying to keep themselves safe. But I mean, they must not have much of anything in the way of loot. That's why they've just kind of confined themselves down below. Whereas this other trio, BBG, Dankline, Diddy, and then Code Ape are just trying to, like, they're out in the open. They're like, hey, come on out, guys. Like, we're ready to build value. We're ready to fight with the shambles that we have. Let's go. This enemy trio is not looking to do the same.
I think the enemy trio is more wanting to take a defensive fight, but you don't get to set the pressure. So despite them having kind of the better opportunity, they're currently on the back foot, but they're pushing it out. They're maintaining their HP advantage. But as I say, that better angles, you pin yourself in, they will be able to work around. T-Kitchen goes down. The other player does get isolated, and this is what we're talking about. Once you're separated, it's now all of a sudden not a 3v2, it's a 3v1. As the flank comes through, they convert. All the Nobu team goes down, and that's 3 points over to Diddy, Dankline, and Ape.
That's sick. The way they kind of divided and conquered that, like, you just kind of saw that.
A minha parece, olha. É o 3 para dentro e quadrado.
Like, they walk away with 100 HP, which is really great. It could have been, you know, a player gets down and then have to be revived. They're only at 30. They even had the med kit as well there to kind of get them back into fighting order. But across the way, you got these other players on this little hill. Looks like he is by himself right now. Stats here. I'm a panda. Okay, sure. And Parrish are sitting up on this little hill. They're just waiting. They're like, someone please peek. There you go. They're going to pick up Flam there. Unfortunately, could not get himself down to safety. Don't forget he was DBNO. So he's got to crawl himself away. Unfortunately, could not.
Yeah, you don't really move very fast, so you're basically relying on a teammate covering you immediately, or potentially one of those clutch shockwaves to be thrown back in the zone, but not going to happen here. No angles there. You can see Sad kind of just trying to hold over on the side as Parrish, Stats, and Pandish are able to get angles over here and not let them out of kind of this, like, it's really tough because it's such a good area to loot, but when you get pinned down in here, it's so difficult to rotate away because the breaks in sightlines don't lead anywhere, right? So you break a sightline and it's like, okay, but you're still stuck in that valley, so I'm just going to hold high ground and chill. You have to leave here eventually, and there's only 2 exits.
Eu acho que consigo melhorar a qualidade, bro. Como eu não estou a fazer.
Consegue melhorar.